Welcome back, everybody. Today, I'm going to teach you how to get a refund from American Airlines. Whether you've had a change of plans, experienced a significant flight disruption, or simply need to understand your refund options. This guide will walk you through everything you need to know about getting your money back from American Airlines. First, let's talk about the 24-hour refund window. If you cancel your trip within 24 hours of purchase, you can get a full refund. But there's an important catch here. You must have booked at least 2 days before your scheduled departure. This 24-hour refund policy applies to all ticket types, which is great news for travelers. However, keep in mind that you have to actually cancel the trip to get that refund. If you purchased your ticket through a travel agency or another booking source, you'll need to contact them directly for the refund instead of going through American Airlines. Also note that reservations booked as part of a group block don't qualify for this 24-hour refund policy. When refunds are issued, they'll go back to your original form of payment in full amounts, less any sale-imposed non-refundable taxes and any service charges if you booked through reservations. Now, if you have a refundable ticket that you're not going to use, the process is pretty straightforward. If you bought your American Airlines ticket directly from them, you can request a refund online through their website. They'll process your refund back to the original credit card within 7 business days, and it should appear on your statement within 1 to 2 billing cycles. For all other forms of payment, they'll process your refund within 20 days after receiving a complete refund request. Here's something critical to remember. Refund requests must be submitted while your ticket is still valid, which is 1 year from the ticket issue date. American Airlines will not process refunds on expired tickets, so don't wait too long. Again, if you bought your ticket through a travel agency or another booking source, you'll need to contact them for the refund. What about non-refundable tickets? This is where things get a bit more complicated. American Airlines doesn't refund cash for non-refundable tickets under normal circumstances. However, there are several exceptions where they may refund a non-refundable ticket. The first is that 24-hour window we mentioned earlier. If you cancel within 24 hours from the time you first buy your ticket and you bought it at least 2 days before departure, you can still get a refund. You can also get a refund if there's a schedule change of 3 or more hours for domestic flights or 4 or more hours for international flights, and you decide not to travel. Another exception is if there's a schedule change of 90 minutes or more within 72 hours of your scheduled departure time and you choose not to travel. Additionally, refunds are available in cases of death of the passenger or traveling companion, military orders or change in duty, and other extraordinary circumstances. It's also worth noting that Department of Transportation rules allow you to get a refund if your flight is significantly disrupted and you decline their rebooking offers, even if you bought a non-refundable ticket. Let's discuss basic economy fares specifically because they have their own set of rules. Within the first 24 hours of booking, you have the same rights as other tickets. You can cancel for a refund if you booked at least 2 days before departure. However, after 24 hours, refunds to your original form of payment are not allowed. If you're an A Advantage member and cancel your flight, you may be able to receive a trip credit minus a basic economy cancellation fee. To qualify for this, your A Advantage number must be included in your reservation before canceling, and your trip must meet specific criteria. It needs to be booked in the U.S. directly through American on an American Airlines marketed and operated flight starting in the 50 U.S. states and canceled on a .com or in the American app before your first flight departs. If you cancel a trip that has already begun, the ticket loses any remaining value and cannot be used for future travel. Now, what if you have a non-refundable ticket but want to use it for future travel instead of getting a refund? Yes, you can apply the unused value of your ticket towards future travel on American depending on the fare rules. If you cancel your trip on a .com before departure, they will cancel your ticket and issue a trip credit. Your trip credit will be valid until the date listed on the credit. If you cancel your trip through any other channel, they'll cancel your ticket and issue a flight credit instead. When using your flight credit, travel must begin within 1 year from the date your ticket was first issued. You may be charged a change fee and any difference in ticket price. The key thing to remember here is that you must cancel your ticket before the first flight departs, or the ticket will lose any remaining value and cannot be used for future travel. What about those extra products and services you might have paid for? Can you get refunds on those? If the product or service you paid for was provided on an alternate flight, no refund will be provided. However, certain products and services are eligible for a refund if you're unable to use them. These include bag fees, though this refund does not apply to bags bought online. Pet fees, priority boarding, same-day flight change or standby fees, and unaccompanied minor fees are all refundable if you couldn't use them. Let's talk about significant flight disruptions because this is really important for your rights as a passenger. You will be promptly refunded for your ticket fare, including taxes and fees, if there is a cancellation or significant change to your trip and you decide not to rebook. A flight number change is actually considered a cancellation. Significant changes include changes to itineraries of 3 or more hours for domestic flights or 4 or more hours for international flights, changes in departure or destination airports, downgrades to a lower cabin, increased number of flight connections, and other major changes. These changes are calculated from the original departure and arrival times at booking or the latest change you made to your trip. However, if you accept their rebooking offers, like continuing to travel on a delayed or rescheduled flight, you won't be eligible for a refund. This is why it's important to carefully consider whether you want to accept the rebooking or request a refund instead. Finally, let's cover what happens if you're too sick to travel. For flights on or after April 28, 25, you can request a refund or a transferable travel credit valid for 5 years if you have a serious communicable disease. This type of disease must be able to cause serious health problems like breathing issues, organ damage, or even death, and it must spread through close contact or shared surfaces. For example, while the common cold spreads easily, it doesn't cause serious health issues and wouldn't qualify under this policy. There are specific requirements for this medical refund. First, you need a doctor's certificate stating you shouldn't fly because it could pose a risk to others based on your health and public health advice from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention or World Health Organization. If there are government restrictions, you need to provide a government order or document showing any travel restrictions if government rules prevent you from traveling to, from, or within the U.S. This also applies if you need to quarantine for more than half of your trip, excluding travel days. During a public health emergency, you need a doctor's certificate stating that you shouldn't travel based on your condition and public health advice from CDC or WHO. To request this type of refund, you'll need to download the Certification by Healthcare Provider of Serious Communicable Disease PDF form, have your doctor complete and sign the form, and then submit your completed form to American Airlines when you request the refund. And that's everything you need to know about getting a refund from American Airlines. Whether it's a standard 24-hour cancellation, a refundable ticket, a non-refundable ticket under special circumstances, or a medical situation, you now understand all your options. If you found this video helpful, please leave a like, subscribe, and see you in the next video.